Welcome to Stone Watch, and this is the Retro Rewatch. And today we're talking about the 1987 classics, Battery Not Included. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button and click on that bell so you can be notified for future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, continuing on with my revisiting of old movies video series, I recently sat down and rewatched Batteries Not Included on HBO Max. Now, I gotta say, I still enjoyed watching this movie, but you could definitely tell it's like the product of the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I mean, now, if you don't know, this movie is basically about like these tiny little alien spaceships that visits this apartment building in New York. Like they're about ready to get their building torn down and stuff like that. Everything around them's being like torn down because the developers trying to put up this big, huge high-rise building, and they're the last thing standing in the way of this land development. Now, it's a good film, but it's kind of weird because like you see these construction guys, nobody has a cell phone. The developer dude, he didn't have a cell phone, but I guess like it wasn't really a thing until the movie Wall Street came out, which came out the same year as this movie. As mind you, I don't know which one came out first. Seeing a cell phone in a movie wasn't really a thing until the movie Wall Street came out. So I don't know if you know that, but it's true. Now, Batteries Not Included is a 1987 American comic science fiction film directed by Matthew Robbins. It's about a small extraterrestrial living spaceships that save an apartment block under the threat of property development. The story originally was intended to be featured on the television series Amazing Stories, but executive producer Steven Spielberg liked the idea so much he decided to adapt it into a film. It also was the feature film screenwriting debut of Brad Bird. Starring in this movie have Hugh Croman, Jessica Tandy, Frank McRae, Elizabeth Pena, Dennis Boutsoukaris, and Michael Carmen, just to name a few. Now, again, I gotta say, this was a fun film to watch. I mean, it had heart, it had good characters, and it had a lot of happy moments, and it ended like on a good note. It wasn't like one of those like typical like alien movies where people are dying and all this other type of thing. It's just like they kind of showed up, it got a little crazy, and at the end they kind of helped them all out. And it was like, then they ended up like they still built the high-rise building, but it was pretty much like the way it looked in that model in the movie where they had all these big tall buildings and this little apartment building in the middle of all these huge buildings. So that was kind of funny that they actually looked like the model that they had inside the movie. Now, this movie was originally released on December 18th of 1987. Now, currently it's sitting at a Rotten Tomato score of 60% and an audience score of 64%, which is pretty damn good for a movie that's 34 years old. Now, the most recent critic review on this movie was April of last year, and the most audience review on this one, other than my video right now, was like a couple weeks ago, like earlier on this month in May. Now, it had a budget of $25 million and they brought in a whopping $65 million. Now, I don't know what the budget marketing was for this movie, but it's probably safe to say that they did not make that much money, and that's not really all that good. And I don't really remember whether or not if I actually saw this movie in the theaters or not, name of the show, but I do remember seeing it. I just don't remember if I saw it in the theater or if it was like a Blockbuster video rental. Remember when we used to do those kind of things? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But I got to say, doing research for this video, 5 out of the 6 cast members that I mentioned in this video are no longer with us. But I guess that's like kind of what happens when you look at older movies. Chances are some of the actors that are in it are not going to be around. And let's be honest, Hugh Cronin and Jessica Tandy were up there in age when this movie was being filmed. So it doesn't really, but I mean, some of them were actually quite shocked. I think the Carmen guy I think he died, he was like almost 30. Right? I think if I did the math right, I'm not really sure. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I mean, it was kind of a bummer. But I mean, again, I still like this movie. I thought it was like a lot of fun. I think it's a good movie for the family because like, there's nothing, I mean, there's like aliens, but they're not like scary aliens. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'm glad I revisited this movie. It was always a fun movie. It's kind of like one of those movies you would like watch on cable on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon when you didn't really have much going on and you just like, you want to watch something good and you happen to turn it and it's on. Like, this is like one of those kind of movies you would just kick back on the couch and just like relax and watch and laugh. I mean, because some of the things were pretty funny, and you're like, again, it's definitely a product of the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Batteries Not Included? I mean, let me know in the comments down below. Did you like it? How old were you when you saw that movie? And then did you see it in a theater or did you see it as a Blockbuster video rental? Let me know in the comments down below. So I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good movie. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.